People have been living in tribes since we've been walking this earth. And in the modern day, a group needs two things to be a tribe: a shared interest and a way to communicate. In the same time, you can't have a tribe without a leader, and you can't be a leader without a tribe. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Michael and you're watching Reading for Living, the show on YouTube for future millionaires and entrepreneurs. You are here because you want to improve your life by getting the core information and ideas from the books that can change your life. So if you don't have time to read, at least subscribe to this channel and hit that notifications bell. Well, I got news for you. Never in the recorded history did we have the communication capabilities that we have today. And although the market keeps on changing, it was never easier for someone to get financial freedom and success than it is today. The book of this week is Seth Godin's Tribes, We Want You to Lead Us, and it talks about building your tribe and leading it. The world has changed, and tribes, which used to be local, now are becoming global, and they are even formed from people that don't necessarily know each other in person. In this book, Seth Godin tries to motivate us to become leaders of our own tribes, and he's talking about leading through passion, leading with an idea that you believe in. The opportunity to create your tribe comes from the fact that we live in a different world now. A world where people start to work on things that they believe in and where consumers are buying brands, stories, fashion instead of factory-produced commodities. Seth also says that tribes are everywhere and they are just waiting for somebody to lead them. He talks about how marketing changed everything, and after hundreds of years of incessant marketing, people have a taste for what's new. Right now, if you want to be a leader, you need to challenge the status quo, because what the market wanted yesterday doesn't want today. The business world has had a history of conservative tribes, but Seth says that this has changed because of marketing, and that people are longing to be a part of a movement and yearn for change. The things that they talk about right now are remarkable and not boring. Nobody will watch or share a boring YouTube video. Leaders are not managers. Managers manage by using the authority the factory gave them, and their job is to complete tasks assigned to them by somebody else in the factory. But leaders, on the other hand, don't necessarily have authority from their employer, but they are leading by using passion and ideas. If you want to see change happen in the world, then you need to start a movement. And this happens when people talk to one another, when ideas spread within the community, and when peer support leads people to do what they always knew was the right thing. A movement is composed of three things: a story about who we are and the future we're trying to build, a connection between and among the leader and the tribe, and something to do. The fewer limits, the better. Tribes don't look for average products but want remarkable ones. The ideas that spread win, and for an idea to spread, it needs to be remarkable. But there are also many people working hard to defend the status quo, trying to sell you what they have always sold, and this might be very exhausting for them. If you want your movement to succeed, Seth talks about the fact that you need true fans. A true fan is someone who deeply cares about you and your work. He will bring 3 other friends with him and will go the extra mile to buy the special edition. In order to make a change, you need only 1,000 true fans in your tribe. And that's enough. In today's day and age, it has become easier to create stronger relations with the people you don't know personally, through the use of the internet, by writing tweets, blog posts, creating YouTube videos, and so on. Now one person can create a video that can impact millions of people, and you can be that person too. In the book, there is the concept of the factory. This is the place where you do mundane work without any need to take responsibility. This was the dream of your parents and grandparents, a steady job without any surprises. But things have changed now, and when we think of the ideal job, we want challenges, control, and huge rewards, things that we can't get out of a factory. Companies don't have to be factories anymore, and organizations of the future are filled with smart, fast, flexible people on a mission. In such unstable times, growth comes from leaders who engage their organization and create a change, and not from managers. But because of fear, most of the people refuse to become leaders and challenge the status quo. and this lets people struggling for years without any progress. They become better at following, but are not learning how to lead. This is not the fear of failure, but the fear of criticism. The thing is, criticism happens whenever there is something worth talking about. If there would be something boring or uninteresting, there would be no criticism also. So next time, try to think about how you can create something that the critics will criticize. Leaders are, after all, heretics because they challenge the status quo. And the most important thing from the heretic is to believe. Once you get a tribe, it's tempting to make the tribe bigger, but the key is to make the tribe tighter. Tight tribes communicate faster and better. The online tools you can use to make your tribe tighter are found on the internet, as follows: writing a blog, using Twitter, Facebook, Basecamp, and so on. With these tools, you can communicate your ideas to the tribe in an easy way. Leaders can be directly involved in actually leading the tribe, but they can also back off by creating a medium of communication and then letting the people communicate with each other. One aspect of leading a tribe is that you just need to focus on your tribe and on the common passion. The rest of the world can ignore you, and this means that you get to choose the tribe you will lead. The tribe has the same worldview as the message you believe in and are sending. People are most easily led where they wanted to go all the time. A great leader won't try to please everybody, and he will send the message as it is, as they believe it is, and this will attract people who resonate with the same message. Which also means that you don't need to worry or focus on most people, as they aren't the target of your tribe. The leader doesn't ask for permission because change is not made this way. Change is made by asking forgiveness later. Earlier in our history, they used to burn heretics on the stake, but right now, individuals have more power than they ever had in history. One individual can change political systems or the way we use the internet, as long as he has faith that he can do that and that his idea is worth spreading. And when that one individual starts spreading his message persistently, doing his actions, nobody will take notice at first, but with time, people will start to notice and then follow. Seth talks about the fact that big industries don't die by surprise, but because of lack of initiative and refusing to see what the next thing is. Everybody is so focused on keeping things as they are that they lose sight of the change that's happening right in front of them. Seth uses the concept of sheepwalking, which he defines as the outcome of hiring people who have been raised to be obedient and giving them brain-dead jobs and enough fear to keep them in line. Companies go out of their way to hire the cheapest labor, which can be performed by people who have already been trained to be sheep-like. This training starts from school. Students are trained to be obedient, motivated by fear, and learn to pass a test. Just like sheep. The more a student acts like a sheep, the easier it is for him to finish school or university. You can create a micro-movement instead. A micro-movement is something that is known by few people, but which can be transformed in a big movement by the people who choose to follow it. There are 5 steps to create a micro-movement. Publish a manifesto. Make it easy for it to spread, on the internet for example. This will be your way of looking at the world and it will unite the tribe. Make it easier for your followers to connect with you. As I said, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and so on. Make it easy for your followers to connect with one another. Facebook groups, events, drinks outside, etc. Realize that money is not the point of the movement. Money exists merely to enable it. Track your progress. Do it publicly and create pathways for your followers to contribute to that progress. And there are also 6 principles for a movement. Transparency is your only option. Remember that your followers aren't stupid. Your movement needs to be bigger than you. Movements that grow thrive. Movements are made most clear when compared to the status quo or the movements that want to push the other direction. Exclude outsiders. Who isn't part of your movement matters almost as much as who is. Tearing others down is never as helpful to a movement as building your followers up. Another thing this book points out is that it's okay to be wrong. Isaac Newton, for example, was so wrong studying alchemy for many years of his career, but nevertheless he is considered one of the most successful scientists in history. Steve Jobs was also wrong with many of his products, but you don't remember him for those. The idea here is that you need to be willing to be wrong, not afraid of it, and to realize that being wrong isn't fatal. A big part of leadership is the ability to stick with a dream for a long time. Long enough that the critics realize that you're going to get there one way or another, so they will follow. Seth says that one of the most important practical ideas from this book is to follow this simple process if you want to manage leaders. Find leaders, the heretics who are doing things differently and making a change, amplify their work, give them a platform and help them find followers. And things will get better, always. Because there are so many people in the world living in countries with bad infrastructure, with no access to school, or being exploited by their own governments, it makes it an obligation, not a privilege, for you to raise the bar and do things better, to become a leader. One last gem from this book is this: people always believe what they tell themselves, and what leaders do is that they give people stories that they can tell themselves. Stories about the future and about change. If you didn't guess it yet, this book talks about leading a lot and provides some examples from real life of people who are leaders in their domains. You can find these stories in the book yourselves. What I liked about this book was the idea that right now, with all of the technology and the means of communication, you can create your own tribe from home just by sharing your worldview or some activity that you enjoy. A tribe that is not for everybody, but for the people who think the same way as you do. Just find something you're passionate about and start your own tribe. If you have read this book and think that I should have talked about other things also, let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you want to read this book yourselves, I put some links in the description below with the places where you can find it. Be sure to watch next week's episode where I'll talk about a book that can save you a lot of money, time and frustration if you plan to create your own startup. For me, it really changed the trajectory I was taking 7 years ago. And as always, like, share and subscribe if you like this video, and see you next time.